You are listening to Been There, Done That. We present some of the smartest people connected to the business of coffee. People who've succeeded in the tough grind of hospitality by staying ahead of the rest. So join us as we explore the secrets to their success and help you accelerate your business. This show is brought to you by the Coffee Commune, where the coffee community comes to collaborate. Enjoy the show.
Hey guys, Phil DeBella here, another episode of Been There, Done That, where we bring to you people that are experts in their field to share their wisdom and knowledge so that we can help you accelerate your potential. Today, not only have we got somebody who's been there, done that, is a very, very smart, he's funny, and also a fucking great soccer player, and I've known him for a long time. Barry Wilkinson, welcome to the show. Barry is a managing director and senior finance specialist at SW Brokerage. He's got over 20 years of experience in finance and mortgage broking. He's very passionate and dedicated to helping clients borrow with confidence and providing personalized service and strategic expertise. He works for you. You are the prime focus and person that he wants to help accelerate your potential in the world of finance. And we're going to explore that further after. He's got a diploma in finance and mortgage broking. He's accredited with MFAA. He specializes in SMSF, so loans and refinancing, property investment, commercial finance, the whole lot. As the listeners know, I don't bring anyone to the show that hasn't been there or done that. And more importantly, I don't endorse anyone that I haven't used myself so that I can give you the best possible endorsement. Barry has done multiple finance projects for me, and we'll discuss a couple of them. And he has been fantastic every time. And he knows that I would not be saying that if that wasn't the case. And I certainly wouldn't have him on the show. The purpose of Barry being on the show today is we want to explore things such as being proactive, not reactive with your finance needs. No, the banks are not your friends. They are a resource there for you to use, but an independent broker like SW Brokerage, who actually has the customer, which is you, at the forefront of your financial needs, is the go-to. It's what I do now. I go to Barry and his team first and tell them what finance needs I need, and then they go find me what I need. I just wanted to set that scene and set this discussion up so that you can maximize what Barry's going to share with you and how he can help you accelerate your potential in a world that is getting ever more challenging. So Barry, welcome to the show.
Ciao. Bonjour.
Mate,
go the World Cup.
Both of you, World Cup starts soon. I know you're passionate. By the time this plays, the World Cup probably be on. But who are you going for, by the way? It's not the Italians.
My dark horse, obviously being a born Scotsman, I'm going to go for them. So it's my country of birth.
Well, the Italians got no.
Italians got no, which you'll be disappointed for, which is actually quite sad. Dark horse, Germany.
Yes. Germany? Mm-hmm. Well, how do you reckon the Aussies will go?
Probably more chance of me getting my 8th COVID jab. But I haven't even got one. But anyway, no, look, great that they've made it, but good luck to them. Yeah. Kudos to them.
We're with them in spirit. Okay, look, we've been in the trenches with small business. You've been a small business owner. It feels like everybody's doing it tough, which they are. It's a two-speed economy, especially for hospitality venues and retailers are doing it really, really tough. And people in services are doing it tough, but especially those in product and in the spirit of obviously our community, hospitality venues and all the rest of it is doing really tough. From where you sit at SW Brokerage, what's the actual temperature of small business confidence right now? What are you seeing out there? Because you deal with a range of businesses.
Yeah, we do. I mean, look, just to set the scene is that as a brokerage for the last 20 years, it was traditionally founded on residential. And then over the years, due to the experience that we've got in the brokerage, we've obviously morphed into commercial, business, residential, SMSF, Medico, private lending, development, and what's not. Now, we're here to talk about small business, which falls into the business category. So within the brokerage, we've seen quite an uplift of inquiry over the last probably 3 years, pure and simply because what you have found, and we've spoken about this a fair bit, what has happened, there's a huge void now within the banks. And then you've also got now second-tier lenders and third-tier lenders coming into the market. So these guys fall under what we call a non-NCCP, which is the Credit Consumer Code within Australia. So business lending is completely different to your normal residential. Completely different whatsoever. And we'll go through that. So just want to set the precedents pretty quickly. What we are seeing a lot of is more reactive as opposed to being proactive. And look, you and I have been in business for a long time. You've given me some sound advice, some great advice over the last 20 years. And it's unfortunate that the businesses that we are seeing at the moment are either having to pay out some ATO debt because of it being reactive. They haven't looked in terms of what they need to pre-plan. sit with their accountant, and because obviously interest rates, where they're at, inflation's going up, that's when people start to react, which is actually quite sad. And that really gets me not angry, but also I shake my head to think to myself, well, Australians spend more time on their own annual holidays than they do on their own finances, which is alarming, right?
Yeah.
So ATO debt is what we are seeing a lot of, and also some cash flow. People are starting to delay payments to businesses. So it's gone from maybe 7 days to 14 days. Now you're starting to see it drag out to 21 days. So cash flow is a big thing, and ATO debt.
Is it?
And so you mentioned the two-speed economy as well. What we are seeing on the flip side is some businesses looking to be somewhat entrepreneurial and starting to kind of look at opportunities within the market at the same time, similar to the purchasing of the commercial and residential side of the fence. So more ATO debt and acquisitions, mate.
Yeah. And, the key takeaway there for listeners is reactive versus proactive. I mean, isn't that alarming? Australians spend more time planning and on holidays than what they do in planning their finances. And the finances is what drives the holidays. So it's counterintuitive, right? So key takeaway, get proactive. SW Brokerage, great way to do that. We'll put all the links up for you to reach out to Barry and his team. They have some amazing products. We'll talk about them soon that can help you be on that front foot. But we set the scene. What's our wish is to get you proactive. Let's say, Barry,
please.
Get people proactive with their finances.
And Phil, just to finish on that one, it literally is, it can be quite a hard conversation for people to have because it can be either ego-driven or they don't want you to be judged.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing is my advice to the listeners out there is research the brokerage or the banks that you want to deal with. Ensure that they are aligned with your holistic kind of financial approach. Do they have experience? How long have they been doing it? Do they know what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Because what we do find is that there's an abundance amount of people like myself and other bankers out there. And if it's a bank, they're obviously going to be driven by their KPIs, their products.
Correct.
So, they're steering people maybe in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So, it can actually be their undoing, actually, to be honest with you. I've seen that a few times in the last couple of years because it's been structured incorrectly.
Yeah.
So it's a 10-minute phone call to 15-minute phone call. It's a time that if there's something there, then obviously we'll make time to sit down and forecast and work with them.
But they're going to get good, independent, straightforward, proactive advice, right?
Mate.
And I've seen that firsthand. So let's give the listeners, before we get some context, give them some context of products that you specialize in. So let's say that, because you do all sorts of finance and you can find solutions to most, but let's say the top 3 or 5 that you and your team really specialize
in the business sector?
In the
ATO
business
debt?
Yes.
Trader and finance, trader debt in terms of invoice
Which you've
financing.
just done our stuff.
Yeah,
Cool. Yep.
invoice financing is becoming huge and popular.
Yeah.
ATO debt.
Yes.
We can consolidate ATO debt. If you have a mortgage, we can consolidate it into your home loan.
Yeah.
Right? People thinking to themselves, oh my God, that's ridiculous, but it's better off
Which minimises your interest.
Correct.
And gets the ATO off your back.
and has it off your balance sheet.
Yes.
Right? Or your financials. If you've got an ATO debt, you will find, and if you leave it as a payment plan, the banks don't want to touch you.
Yeah.
Right? So if you've got a bit of equity in your property, you can obviously look at doing that as well. And equipment finance, mate, is a big thing as well.
Yeah. So there's 2 things you touched on that you've done for us. So Barry firsthand's done our equipment finance. And surprise, surprise, because of the way that banks are set up, banks can look after new customers better than they can look after their current customers. And we had that experience. Barry leased one of our $1.5 million machine, but we leased it $500,000 worth under accountant's advice. And then Barry found the finance for us. And from a new bank, we were able to get, we won't mention brands, but we were able to get a better deal, or Barry got us a better deal from a new bank to finance that machine than our current bank that I've been with since I was 17.
But it's also that level of convenience, right? So it's the convenience part. So just to analyse that part, for any small business out there at the moment, you may think, oh my God, I have to supply financials, I have to supply P&Ls, I have to supply accountants, obviously cash flow and analysis. Well, no, you don't. What you're finding outside the mainstream banks is, mate, we give you a link. We'll have a look at the bank statement link. We'll have a look at what's coming in, what's going out, and we can analytically look at it and obviously give you a facility based on
what's happening.
Yeah, it's that simple. It really is that simple, mate.
Yeah. And the hardest part's picking up the phone. As you said, I think a lot of people get embarrassed or they don't know what they don't know. Yeah. The hardest part's picking up the phone. But then, so you've done our equipment finance, and obviously that was on the back of our accountant saying this is what we want you to do, and Barry's team was able to do it. And recently, what we found, being a manufacturer, people now aren't paying 14 or 28 days. They're holding out to 45 days. The commune, we're growing at 40% a year on year, 40%. And we're at that critical point now where we've got over $1.8 million of money owing to us from people. And I need the cash flow to keep this business pumping and growing at that rate. So Barry's just finalised our debtor finance program for us to say, I've gone to Barry and his team proactively and said, mate, we need to fund our growth if we want to continue going at 40%. I don't want to borrow money from the bank because I technically have money sitting there. It's just not in my bank account. And Barry's team put together the product and said, this is the product that ticks all the boxes. It's technically your money. Obviously, you'll pay a fee to access it quicker. So we've got a debtor finance program.
We, only in the last 24 hours, can give you a live transaction. I won't mention the names, but we're dealing with a business that's only been going for 2 years, and they specialise in a kind of, it's quite unique and it's quite actually cool. In all honesty, it was very surprising in terms of the larger turnover that they do, but they're growing.
Yeah.
And you normally find in this country, with the rapid growth, you can actually go broke.
Totally.
Yeah.
That happened to me at DeBella Coffee in 2010.
So you know exactly, right? So there's people out there going, well, my God, I'm getting busier, but where's the money? So with rapid growth, obviously you need a sustainable business in terms of cash flow. So what we've found with these guys is to help them with their growth. So they need another 30 machines. Okay. Now those 30 machines are going to equate to X amount per week for them. So they know the bottom line is obviously going to increase. So we can't take them to a bank. And people are like, why not? So let's talk without giving too many figures away. It's a very healthy turnover, Phil. Yeah. It's a very, very healthy, right? So people are intelligent enough to listen to this, go, yeah, it's good income. I can't take them to a bank. Pure and simply, people are like, why? Because they've only been going just less than 2 years. There's no assets attached to the business. Yeah. There's cash flow, right? There's money there. There's wages being pulled from the business. There's no ATO debt. But then where do you go? Yeah. So before I came to this, I was on the phone to a lender. They're like, yeah, mate, just send us through the link and we'll have a look at it. Now, the rate might be slightly higher than the bank. Now, what's interesting, the conversation.
Rate gets passed on.
It does. Now, the conversation I had with these two guys was, if you're looking at a bank, you need to look beyond the rate. And I know it's going to sound very contradictory, but look beyond the rate, but have a exit strategy that you know is in place to get rid of that debt. Yeah. Then you're going to have to borrow more. I guarantee you, I said to them yesterday, when we get you this funding, you get more money, and guess what? We'll be talking about you buying a shed because you want to house the things there. We'll be talking to you about buying more equipment. So we need to get you to that point where we can then put you into a big bank. Because at some stage they will need a bigger bank maybe. Yeah. But the smaller guys out there, you mentioned just before, it's that keep hold of your cash. Keep hold of your money. Use the house as money. Yeah. The banks want to give you they want to give you the money. There's lenders out there that want to give you the cash. Yeah. But yet for some reason in this country as business owners, it's like, I've got to pay down debt, got to pay in debt. Mate, the system is designed that you will sink.
But the key takeaway for me, Barry, is that, we're not experts. We're only experts in what we do, right? Go to an expert like yourself and say, here's my position, be vulnerable, put it on the
100%.
table, and let you guys who are specialised in this area to say, how about setting yourself up the following way?
The more vulnerable you are, the more passionate you find we become. Yeah. Because we can see the vulnerability and there's a story behind it, which gives us something to go, we've got to get it for them.
Yeah, and that's great advice. And the key takeaway there too is everyone's always looked at the traditional, call it top four banks, even though there's more than four banks. But say they look at the traditional bank to do business. But the traditional banks haven't changed the way that they do business for many years, right? In terms of the back end.
Well, the service has gotten worse. The complexity with the compliance, this country is too compliant. Yeah. That's why we've seen such an emergence of other lenders out there. But the rates are slightly higher, but that's fine.
When we're talking about that, right, so traditionally lenders, let's talk about what lenders want to see, right? They want to see cash flow, tax position, profitability, and debt servicing, right? That's still current at all levels, right?
100%. And from a balance sheet perspective, right, so you look at it, right, so what is my net worth? If you're looking from a balance sheet perspective, what is my net worth? Is a business solely reliant on me? And have I got assets there to be making me money while I'm not involved? Yeah. So from an asset perspective, the balance sheet is very critical for a lender because it shows you what your net worth is, what the liabilities are attached to it. Yep. And obviously if you're increasing your net worth at the end of the day. But debts. I mean, just say, for example, out there, we have got lenders out there at the moment where if there's a director's loan on the balance sheet, we can actually lend against the balance sheet to pay back the director, which is quite attractive for people. Totally. And people are like, really, you can do that? Yeah, 100%, we can look at doing that. But from a balance sheet, it's really super important that you analytically look at that and sit with your accountant and go over it to see, is it going up the way?
And what would you say to listeners that say, I think I'm in an okay position? Talk us through the health checkup systems, the products you guys have been working on and developing.
Well, what's the cash flow? Don't be solely reliant on cash flow. Is there outstanding invoices? And then where's the business want to get to? And sitting with your accountant and sitting with us, because we know exactly what banks are looking for.
Yeah.
Well, 100% we know. But it's don't get comfortable because you can become complacent.
Yeah. And who do you work for? Who pays you?
Well, we get paid by the bank and we get paid by the lenders. That's how we get paid.
Yeah. But who's the customer for you?
Well, the client.
Yeah. And that's a unique position, isn't it? I said very rarely are you going to be being able to deal with somebody you're not actually paying.
Mate, like to get into it, I actually feel sorry for people out there, right? So I do this for a living, so you know instinctively where to go. So we've got an abundance of, say, 60 lenders. That's just in the residential space. Then you've got business space. Then you've got commercial space. Then you've got SMSF. So you've got an abundance amount of lenders out there. Just position yourself with the right person that they know how to read financials, and you've got a good accountant that catches up with you at least once a year. But at the same time, know your numbers, man.
And keep your data, right? You need that data.
Know your numbers. I've got a bookkeeper out there. I make sure each quarter you can find out. You can get a report from your P&L. You would do the same.
Yeah, totally.
You've got to track. I've got a gentleman that always says to me, you can't expect what you don't inspect. It's impossible to do that. But what I do find a lot in terms of habits, Phil, is like there's certain things I don't like doing within the business. I don't like it. Inevitably, that'll be your undoing. 100%. It'll be your undoing because you don't like it. Like at the end of the day, do you want to go to the gym at 5 o'clock when it's cold and it's raining? No, but you need to do it because you've got a goal and you know that it's going to be achieved.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? Is getting people, and I want to talk a bit about this because you're about to run your program through with our staff, I know you're very passionate about financial literacy. You're very passionate about young people getting set up for the future, and I'm passionate about it. There's no secrets when I go and do an interview or something, and then people go, how can you put up with some of the naysayers and the people that want to sling mud at you? And I say, if I was driven by the negativity, I wouldn't do what I do. I'm driven by seeing people accelerate their potential. I'm driven by the young people having opportunity. I've got an 18-year-old daughter, a 16-year-old boy. They're already set up because me and their mother have done very well, and we've been able to set them up and all the rest of it. 99% of kids aren't set up. 98% of kids probably won't be able to, that are teenagers now, won't be able to afford.
The journey that you've been on, right?
No, totally, but they won't be able to afford a property unless they get help from somebody, right? And I know you're passionate in this space.
I mean, I'll look at some stats, right? Because facts don't lie. Australia has approximately 2.73 million active businesses, okay? Around 97% of Australian businesses are small business owners. That's approximately fewer than 20 people.
500,000 of them are just in Queensland.
Now, why I've mentioned that is I'll stop there because the financial literacy program, the financial wellbeing, if you jump onto the website, on our brand new website on swbrokerage.com.au, you scroll right to the bottom. We've got two platforms, a financial wellbeing platform for individuals and for businesses.
Yep.
But if we talk about businesses at the moment, what we do is we actually run your staff. Each week we hold a 1-hour training course and we talk about things to identify, how you look at your habits, where's your money going, how do you gain wealth. It's run by myself and another financial planner. And we'll look at working with businesses to go, well, look, Phil, if I've got a general manager or if I've got an office manager and she's on or he's on X amount per year, well, they may get poached by a bigger bank who can throw more money at them. Now, it's reverse engineering people to go, it's not what you earn, it's what you do with it that counts.
Yes.
So it's reverse engineering it to go, well, look, how about we just position them to find out what they're doing with their money, know they're getting ahead, so they stay with you.
Yeah. And that's the key, guys. It's not only what I love about this, and Barry's running this through our team very soon, is it's a good staff retention and attraction
100%.
Tool. It's a great way to keep your people and attract new people because you're showing that you care about their financial well-being. But the second part and flow through is that we're actually building a better and smarter Australia.
Yeah, and I suppose where it comes from personally, it comes from many, many years of childhood and travelling back from school to school and got back to Scotland and here as a kid and saw obviously a lot of stuff in my childhood that didn't work for my parents. So educating people is so passionate. I mean, 12% of the population only have an investment property in this country. Why? It's not because they can't do it, it's because they don't know how.
You hear that? 12%.
12%, right? So then it diminishes from 2 properties and it diminishes down to 3. It might be like, say, 6 to 7%. What? Out of 13.5 million to 14 million Australians working, we don't have more property. The government have just come out a couple of weeks going, well, now if you go and buy an investment property, the CGT changes and negative gearing changes. So I know we're not here to talk about property, but this just obviously brings it back to business.
Well, we're talking about financial well-being.
Find out how you get ahead. And it's like after the age of 55 to 60, the window of opportunity diminishes. So if you categorize it to go, well, look, this is what I want to achieve. Surround yourself with people that know what they're talking about, good accountants, good financial planner, and good financial brokers, right? And people like yourself that they need to listen to go, Phil, I've had many people come to me to go, hey, Phil's told me to come speak to you, which is what I love and appreciate about you. And then they look up to you because you've done it. And that's what I don't understand in this country. It's like, Phil, show me how to do it.
Yeah.
Just teach me how to do it.
Or talk to the people. I certainly put people onto the people that know
100%.
more than me, right? And it comes back to your vulnerability comment and get bigger than yourself. Park the ego.
Ego's not your ego.
Get over your emotions. And like I said, if you need something and you don't know something, get ahead of it. We're doing it. I can't wait for Barry and his team to roll out this literacy program with our team because I want them to get ahead. I was quoted in the paper the other day, 95% of Australians earn under $100,000 a year. And $100,000 a year in today's operating economy is not enough.
No.
It is not enough, and I feel sorry for people, and I don't mean that in a derogatory term. I literally just am saddened that people are trying to live on $100,000 a year because it's hard when your expenses are so high.
So to talk about the two-speed economy, right? So I can only speak about like our business, right? So you've got to adopt technology. You've got no choice. You've got no choice, right? So we've got an AI robot that's coming out. It's an agent. We've called her Karen. Not because she's tenacious and she'll know she'll cut through with what we're after. No bullshit. So you're looking at how do I retain my clients? How do I continuously keep in touch with them moving forward? Because I'm a big believer in the, like the Dunbar system, 7, 11, 12, right?
Yep.
So how do your clients continuously remember you subconsciously to come back to you, right? So whilst you're using technology and you're using that in areas to make sure people are kept in touch with you, because that's the most important thing, as a small business owner, if you're not embedding technology, you will get eaten up by the big guys. And that's the two-speed economy I'm finding right now. I think our industry will start to go through a cleanse in the next 2 years, I guarantee it, where individual brokers will go because they have not educated themselves to the point of going, tell me, I know business, mate. I know everything about finance. Not everything, but I'm saying in my field of more than just residential.
Yeah.
So if you're a cafe owner or you're a small business owner, people want more, mate.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that. We're not evolving. Like people want more, probably because of my ADHD, right? It's consistently just thinking about how
But
to
you're
make
driven
things
and
better.
passionate to help people, right? So let's talk about cafe owners, right? So how can you help specifically? 1,300 cafes are members of the Coffee Commune, over 1,850 members across all businesses. As you know, it's phenomenal. Never thought it would grow this big and keeps growing, especially that we're not funded by government. How can you help cafe owners? ATO debt obviously is a big one.
Big time. So we're just about to roll out an AI bot that we can actually analytically go through their business, so we can get their zero file. We can go through where the inefficiencies are, what tax issues they're going to have, where they're spending money that they shouldn't be, how to increase money with where they're not looking at, i.e.
And what's this program called?
So it's an AI bot that we align ourselves with an accountancy firm.
Perfect.
And then we give them cash flow drafts. It's like a P&L, but it's real life, what you want to achieve. So that's how we can help cafe owners. But at the same time, cafe owners go, well, look, I'm looking to expand, or just looking to consolidate, or even if you're not looking to expand, how do you get more from your product?
Yeah.
And how do we achieve that? Well, you need cash flow. So it's sitting with the business owners and going, well, look, you're going to run into an issue in this area. If you've got a tax problem, we need to talk ASAP. There's a cafe that we're trying to help at the moment.
Okay. And then
They've got ATO debt.
Yep, ATO debt, yep.
ATO debt. Now, what we're finding here is the motivation's starting to go within the business. The coffee is not, obviously, the love, the passion is not there because, as you well know, when you're making a coffee, it does transcend through, right? So you'll find that if we don't clean up this ATO debt for this person, I guarantee you they will be shutting the doors.
Yeah.
And then they'll fall back into the system. Then you go back to the mental health problems.
Yeah, and then compounding,
Yeah, so
ATO,
know your numbers, man.
You want to know some info if you need help with the ATO debt or equipment finance. But the tool, at least, we'll put the link obviously in the show. Contact Barry and his team at SW Brokerage on how you can get a hold of this tool.
Can I just talk about one more thing, mate? If well-established, because you would have an abundance of people in this sector, people that are well-established, coffee shops, SMSF is becoming huge and it's rife. We've been doing it for the last 3 years from a government's perspective.
Explain SMSF.
SMSF, which is a self-managed super fund. So you're purchasing something essentially within your super. So you as a business owner commercially can buy a property and rent it back to your super fund. So it's a no-brainer that you would then own that premises. After the age of 65 or retirement, you don't pay capital gains. You don't pay capital gains. So if you've got super and you're well established and it's maybe 300 to 400,000 and you're looking for a commercial property, it's a no-brainer. You become your own tenant.
Yep. And you guys specialize in that?
We do SMSF every day, all day. If the business takes on the SMSF debt from a personal standpoint, you will find it won't diminish your own personal borrowing capacities.
Yeah.
So SMSF
Great
is
advice,
huge.
and I know that you've specialised and helped a lot of people gain wealth and maximising their wealth by the system of SMSF. Two last things before we finish. One, where do you see the opportunities?
It's a really good question. Acquisitions.
Commercial, property, or?
Oh, SMSF, but I also see acquisitions for people that are now to go, mate, reset. We are in a reset mode. That's how I feel right now with what the government have done. So reset. Now is a reset mode to go, well, the government have come out making it very difficult. We all don't need to go into that. It's now a smart business owner will sit there and analytically go through their business and go, what can make me stand out to be different?
Yeah. And it starts with your outcomes, because my outcome at 51 as somebody who had a good exit and had a few exited businesses, made some money, is going to be different to somebody who's coming through the ranks and starting off, right? And that's something that people don't get right.
Don't compare.
That's right. Don't compare and start with your outcome in mind. I'm 51. I obviously did the hard work between 26 and 45, a lot of work that most people didn't want to do so that I can do what most people can't. And I don't mean that in an arrogant way. I'm in a different position in my life. My wealth's gone backwards as well. Government hasn't done anybody any favours.
Inflation is the hidden tax.
Well, there you go. But my relationship with money, which is a key takeaway for listeners, has always been from a young kid to have enough money to do what I want when I want.
What we have seen during the week, to give some positive spin on it, one of the banks reduced their fixed rates.
Yeah.
Okay, that's always a good indication that we have come to the end of the road.
Yes.
And it's funny because we've seen another bank increase their fixed rates. Now that comes down to balance sheets. For anyone that needs to understand, banks always work on balance sheets, okay? So I personally think, don't be surprised and don't shoot me for this, I wouldn't be surprised if we had a rate reduction right at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me. Now what's going to happen there, Phil, is the people that aren't preparing now will get caught up in the busyness of it. And when we go back through another issue, because will happen, because it's just the economy, they'll be like, oh shit, I didn't do something back then.
Yeah.
Now's the time to prepare.
And interest rates are not high, guys.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
my parents were on $450 a week.
Do you know what it was?
And they were paying 17% interest.
Do you know it's the same as it was when the current government came in? It's the same. We don't have an income problem here in this country.
We've got
an expenses problem. I think you might have said that.
Yeah.
That is so true. But mate, we survive. I love dealing with two people that really are quite vulnerable and need help, because that's the human nature. But at the same time is the people looking for opportunity.
Yeah.
I love that.
And there's opportunity everywhere.
Oh,
It really is. So before we wrap up, if a business owner is listening to this and feeling the squeeze, but knowing they have a great business, but they need a financial tune-up, what do they do?
mate, look, swbrokerage.com.au, our contact us page. It is unbelievable. You can look for my name, Barry Wilkinson. Will come to me direct and just mention that you've listened to this podcast, and then, mate, we can jump on a Zoom face-to-face. I'm a still traditionalist. I love face-to-face.
I'm the same.
And, look, just give us a hoy. I honestly will speak to them, and I'm a pretty straight shooter. If I can't help you, I'll let you know. But at the same time, if I can't help you, I'll put you in touch with people within my inner sanctum that will get you on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, it's one thing. Like I said, I've known Barry for 30 years plus, and he's very passionate about what he does. I've seen him help many people, and I've put a lot of people onto him that he's been able to help. We don't know what we don't know, guys. So let's park the egos, get out of the emotion, and really surround ourselves with people that know more than what we do. Barry's done many different things for us in the world of finance over the years, and for my team members, helping them buy houses, buy cars, all sorts of stuff. He can help you if you've got an ATO problem. He can help you fund growth if you're looking to expand, if you need equipment financing, if you want to consolidate debt, whatever it is, it's somebody like them that's going to help you get further advanced in your finances.
Let me ask you this. Why do you think people don't reach out?
I think it's ignorance. I think a lot of it is fear and ignorance, right? There's those that are fearful and go, oh, I don't want to be embarrassed and I don't want to be judged. And then there's others that are ignorant and go, she'll be right, mate. Everything's okay. You know, what shall be, shall be. And I'm like that sometimes, but never like that when it comes to finances, right? And I think that comes with responsibility when you've got mouths to feed, being staff, when you've got children and all the rest of it, that you always put them ahead of yourself.
But, like watching yourself, and I've got other guys that I obviously friends with that have been very successful. They all have a common trait. And it's to watch them, as if someone that has aspirations to gain wealth, just watch what they do. Yeah. It's not rocket science.
No, totally.
And you're like, just watch what they do and mirror image it. But you've got your own little kind of niches here and there. But
well, when it all starts, I say, I get to surround myself with a lot of business owners and successful ones and not so successful. And the difference between the do's and the don'ts is the vision, the passion, and the consistency every day. Those that want to show up all in today and then have no energy for tomorrow fall over sooner or later. But those that are consistent every day and keep showing up, as my dad says, when it's summer, we're not off to the beach, it's off to work. When it's winter, it's not under the blankets, it's off to work. But if there's work to be done,
you got to work.
You got to work. And when it's time to have some fun.
Well, people mistake activity for productivity, right? Yeah. And I can be caught into that realm as well. But I suppose at the end of the day, jealousy is probably what drives a lot of people as well, particularly in our sector, but I detest jealousy with a passion.
I can't stand it.
And I don't understand why, because it's like, well, what are they doing? How do you make it work? But I'm very goal-driven, and that's probably where I really align with other people that are very goal-driven.
Well, you're outcome-driven. You know what the years I've known you, this is what I want, this is what I see, and I'm prepared to do the work to do it.
Well, remember, many years ago, I was bringing this story up. It would have been about 10, 15 years ago. We were standing at the Bella driveway. We had a cigarette at the time.
It would have been over 15 years ago.
It would have been 15 years ago. Well, you're Italian, you're allowed to smoke.
Well, I haven't smoked since my daughter was born. There you go, she's 18, so...
that long ago.
Yeah.
And I said to you, mate, what should I do? And it was just nothing profound. It was like, mate, just put someone on. You'll find it. You've got the motivation. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, you're right.
Once you put somebody on and you've got mouth to feed, you'll find the motivation to feed it.
You will find it.
Will.
But,
and look, you've come so far, and I admire your journey and your tenacity. And it hasn't, it's not all rainbows and shining lights. You've gone through your own adversities, as we all have. But I tell you what, you've been consistent. You show up, and the one thing I love, Barry, is you're passionate about what you do, and you're passionate about helping others accelerate their potential. It sits within the wheelhouse of the coffee commune and what I'm driven to do, which is when people say, why'd you go back to work? And I said, well, I'm too young to retire, and I love helping others accelerate their potential. So your values align with us very closely here.
Thank you, mate.
And we thank you for being part of it. You're one of our first ever partner members and have been for 5 years now. So we thank you. So anyone that needs any financial help, support, be proactive, not reactive. If you need to be reactive, pick up the phone sooner rather than later. The details there for Barry and his team. It costs you nothing to ask the question. You're not going to get a bill from Barry to reach out and his team to give you some form of advice and support and guidance. He's a great friend of mine. He's a great friend here of the Coffee Commune, and he is so driven and passionate, if you can't tell, a lot of personality for somebody in finance to help you accelerate your potential. Barry, till next time, a big thank you for you, your team, and what you guys do.
Thank you. God bless.
Talk soon. That's a wrap for today. Keep listening for more episodes of Been There and Done That. The Coffee Commune is here to help accelerate your potential. We want you to be better tomorrow than today. Until next time, you've been listening to Phil DeBella. I'm the founder and managing director of the Coffee Commune, a place where the coffee community comes to collaborate.